Today I will tell you why it's not worth explaining a narcissist's behavior to him. Or more precisely, why you shouldn't do it at all. Because such an attempt can turn out to be a rather unpleasant experience for you. There are people with whom talking feels like a one-sided game. I try to get something across to them. Sometimes something very important to me, like my grievances, my vision of the relationship, his role in conflicts that inevitably arise in any relationship. But in response, silence, misunderstanding, or even an explosion of indignation. A narcissist is just such a person. Attempts to explain to him exactly how his behavior hurts me often result in a wall of misunderstanding. And that's if you're lucky. A narcissist's psyche is structured in such a way that any remarks about his personality, or even just about him behaving somehow inappropriately, are perceived as a personal attack. This immediately takes it beyond constructive discussion, beyond any kind of dialogue. A narcissist exists in a reality where he is the center of the universe, built on constant admiration, submission, recognition of his exceptionalism, and control. Any doubt about this status is perceived as a potential threat. Imagine you've been assembling a puzzle for years, where every piece is proof of your superiority. And now, someone points out that something's missing. Some fragment is absent. Something doesn't fit together. And it literally screams, "The emperor has no clothes." No one is talking about imperfection, but the narcissist interprets it that way for himself. Naturally, the reaction is not a desire to understand, but anger, rage, fury. Not because the narcissist doesn't see his mistakes, but because admitting them means destroying, trampling his ideal image. Explaining to him that he causes me pain is not just useless. Sometimes it's even dangerous. His defense mechanisms, denial, anger, devaluation, kick in very often, almost instantly. "You're too sensitive. You're to blame yourself. You drove me to this." It's important to remember that a narcissist can be either a man or a woman. Female narcissists use all these phrases no less frequently. This isn't necessarily conscious manipulative behavior or deliberate humiliation. It can simply be an instinctive attempt to preserve his self. Even if I tell a narcissist, "You don't know how to empathize," he might genuinely not understand what I'm talking about. But he'll definitely realize that I'm dissatisfied with something, accusing him of something. Either way, for him, empathy is an abstraction or a practical skill for manipulation, primarily in the context of relationships with me. Many people believe that if you choose the right words, provide irrefutable arguments, use flawless logic, then the narcissist will hear, see the light, understand, realize. But in reality, his thinking works differently. He doesn't analyze actions to become better. He looks for confirmation of his rightness in them. That's the essence of his interaction, his contact with the world, with people. My explanation he will process through the prism of benefit or distort it. How can this be used? I say, "You pay me too little attention." The narcissist will rather hear that he's being accused of imperfection, or decide that by showing a little more attention, he can strengthen control over me, manipulate me better. An attempt to reach him often turns into a dialogue of the deaf. I talk about feelings. He talks about facts that disprove them. Narcissists masterfully distort reality. Their brain, probably like a funhouse mirror, reflects events in such a way that they always remain flawless as much as possible. The reaction will rather be aggressive. He might directly say, "That didn't happen. You're making it all up," shifting to personal attacks. They are very flexible in handling facts, interpreting them shamelessly in their favor. Explanations crash against this wall, leaving me literally bewildered by completely unfounded and perverted accusations. It's impossible to believe that a person really thinks that way. Very difficult, at least. And then the question arises. Maybe I just don't understand something after all. Is there something wrong with me? Am I doing something wrong? Even if the narcissist agrees and casually throws out, "Yes, I was harsh," it doesn't mean he's realized his guilt. His admission is a formality, just a way to close the topic. For him, an apology is not remorse, but a tool. I wait for changes, hope for them, and in the end, I get perfected narcissistic manipulations that he hones to virtuoso mastery. Or maybe I just get silence. Narcissists understand others primarily on an intellectual level. They know that people like being praised, but they struggle with emotional connection. My pain for them is an abstraction, like someone else's headache. You can say, "It hurts me 100 times," but it won't evoke compassion from a narcissist or lead to change. Not because they're all completely heartless, but because their psyche isn't capable of experiencing someone else's vulnerability. Because admitting they've hurt someone means admitting they're not perfect. And that's completely unnecessary for maintaining that ideal mask they always wear. Communicating with a narcissist resembles a meaningless ritual dance. I explain, he denies, I get angry, he takes offense, I leave, he returns as if nothing happened. It seems like one more attempt, and he'll hear something. But in reality, it's a cycle. I waste energy. He reinforces the thought that I'm a difficult, inconvenient person who constantly accuses him of something. A narcissist doesn't learn from conflicts. For an ordinary person, a quarrel is a reason to think, "What did I do wrong?" For a narcissist, it's confirmation that the world is unfair to him. He perceives every explanation more as an attack than an opportunity to build dialogue on some other level. I hope for his enlightenment, but it's impossible. The inability to reach a narcissist is not my failure, but a consequence of his psyche's structure, which cannot be changed with words. It's beyond his capabilities and completely contrary to his desires. Realizing this doesn't make narcissists monsters. Many of them suffer from loneliness, emptiness, but their suffering is not an indulgence to endure offenses from them, but a reminder. Some doors are closed simply because there's nothing behind them. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you liked it. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment whether this topic was useful to you and what topic to cover for you next. Thank you.